It's so funny thinking of all those pathetic losers that want to see me fail. I became a sex predator of the highest magnitude, and they basically kind of Me Too'd me. Out of everyone, it was my consent that was preached, not theirs. Holy shit that I get treated like garbage for no reason whatsoever. How the am I going to groom you if you're 30? Unless you're some sort of retarded bitch. It is brutal. It is savage. The dog pile starts to happen. For one thing, it taught me that leftoids were slimy who will sometimes stab you in the back. Mentally ill, neurodivergent, idiots. I showed that autistic little freak an absolute boatload of charity. Streaming for 3 years, pretty crazy to have reached this stage. I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there that would have hoped that I'd have been disappeared by now, that I'd be gone, that it would be the end of me. But bad news. I'm still here, motherfuckers. I'm still fucking here, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's so funny thinking of all those pathetic losers that want to see me fail. I remember all the people that said to me, you're never going to become a 20-viewer streamer. You're never going to become a 50-viewer streamer. You're never going to become a 100-viewer. You're never going to last 6 months. You're never going to last a year. And then I had my controversy. So for those of you that don't know, now I've got a face cam and you can see my beautiful face. I'm going to explain the controversy for you, okay? So, basically, throughout 2020, the best way I can put it to you is that I was down bad, okay? I was down bad. I had my little Discord with 100 people in, okay? And I became a sex predator. I became a sex predator of the highest magnitude. I was basically like Harvey Weinstein, wielding about my clout. But yeah, I you know, would kind of flirt with people from my Discord and, you know, sex with them a bit, whatever. And it was all like consensual. Everyone was happy with what was going on. There was never any pressure or force. Of like, you know, oh yeah, if you can come on my stream if we sexed or something like that. It was always consensual. But yeah, I mean, I look back and I think I shouldn't have done that. That was a bit cringe. Bit of cringe on my part. So anyway, I was probably a 30 to 50 viewer Andy at the time. And I had about 1,000 YouTube subs or something like that. I can't remember. But this was like late 2019, early 2020. I was down bad. Listen, it's no excuse, but I was splitting up with my missus and I was like, I feel a bit tragic. I feel a bit tragic right now. So I was messaging a couple of women from my Discord. Obviously, you know, I look back with regret. I shouldn't have done that. That was silly. But nonetheless, I did it. Now, the controversy came about because one of the people that I was messaging, basically, you know, I presumed that everyone I was speaking to was over 18. And one of the people that I was speaking to was being a bit odd in some of the things they were saying. So I confirmed and said, you know, are you over 18? I had an NSFW segment in my Discord, which was a mistake, okay? Which was a mistake. That was wrong. Wrong to have an NSFW segment in your Discord. But that person had said they were over 18 in order to gain access to the NSFW segment of my Discord. And then on top of that, I'd spoken to them directly, and they'd said that they were over 18, okay? So, just setting the groundwork there. I was like certain that they were over 18, okay? And we'd had conversations where we'd sexted and, you know, stuff like that, flirted, whatever. Anyway, skip forward to 2021, about just under a year after, okay? They came out on Twitter and they basically kind of Me Too'd me. And they said that, oh, Chud Logic engaged in a conversation with me that I wasn't really comfortable with, right? And this is despite the fact that I'd made numerous attempts and efforts to confirm with them, are you okay with this? Are you happy with this? You know, did you want this to continue? Yes. You know, all that stuff. But even so, they came out and they tried to Me Too me. And part of that was they said, I'd lied to him and said I was over 18, but I was actually 17. Okay? So they admitted that they'd said they were of overage, but they had said, but they were actually 17 at the time we messaged each other, right? So, obviously, yes, it was. And the funny thing about that is, like, I genuinely don't want to talk to like 17-year-olds in that way. I'm not interested in like engaging with a 17-year-old in like a sexual conversation or something. So it was like there was actually a breach of my consent as well. There was actually a breach of my consent too, right? Because they had said they were over 18, but they actually weren't. So my consent had also been... In fact, out of everyone, it was my consent that was breached, not theirs, because they were saying constantly how happy they were with everything. You know, but I was obviously the bad guy. I was obviously the terrible person. Basically, there was this like thing that happened where even though the person themselves had said, I'd lied, I said I was over 18, but I was actually 17. Loads of people missed that bit or obviously ignored it and were like, oh my God, Chud Logic is a paedophile. Chud Logic is a groomer. The person had described what I'd done as grooming. But there was no fucking grooming at all. We'd had a consensual, flirtatious conversation over the course of a few months. That's it, okay? I didn't offer anything. And in fact, I never revealed this publicly because I didn't... if I could go back, I would have gone absolutely fucking nuclear on that person and everyone else involved. If I could do it all again, I'd have just gone full-on fucking battle stations because holy fucking shit did I get treated like garbage for no reason whatsoever, right? You know, sure... I maybe shouldn't have been messaging with on my Discord. That was stupid. But it wasn't fucking predatory. It wasn't grooming. I'm not a fucking pedophile. Are you fucking serious? So anyway, the narrative on the internet was Chud Logic is a groomer. Chud Logic is a pedophile. There were that taught me a lot of lessons, to be fair. But there were a bunch of people that not only ignored what the person had said about the fact they'd lied about their age. Also, on top of that, there were people who were saying Chud Logic knew they were underage, even though they're like 17. Chud Logic knew they were underage and enjoyed it, and enjoyed that part of it. Because there was a few times, we joked about them being a virgin. So they were acting like I was like knowing they were underage and I was like predating on a virgin and I was like, rubbing my hands together at the thought of having sex with a virgin. So, it was honestly a very difficult fucking time for me. And the problem is as well, is on top of that, some other people came forward who, again, I'd had consensual, flirting with. And they acted like I'd done something terrible to them as well. There was even one person that I remember who came forward and made some sort of like generic claim about me. But it's so long ago, I can't remember who the fuck they are. But they made this claim about me that I'd like done something wrong with them. But in our conversation, right, there was a bit of a misunderstanding, I guess. And I just said something to them and they said, oh no, sorry, I'm not interested in that. And I instantaneously stopped that line of the conversation. But even they came out without posting any screenshots, obviously, because they weren't able to, without posting any screenshots, and they were saying that I'd done something wrong with them, despite the fact I'd accepted that they weren't looking at that sort of thing and stopped talking to them in that way. And then the other thing too is some of the women that came out claimed I'd groomed them. But they were 30 years old. How the fuck am I going to groom you if you're 30? Unless you're some sort of retarded bitch. Like, what the fuck? And the messages that they'd shared, again, just demonstrated, like, a completely consensual, flirtatious, sexual conversation backwards and forwards. So, yeah, it was absolutely insane, unhinged, crazy shit that was, like, used against me. And the thing is like, even some of my friends were critical and were like, listen, man, you shouldn't be doing the Discord stuff. It's just an unnecessary thing or whatever. I was like, yeah, fair enough. But it wasn't that. I was labelled as a paedophile groomer for this behaviour. So yeah, it was obviously a very difficult time for me. And if I could go back and do it again, I would just giga chat it out. I would... tell these fucking bitches to get fucked. I would like, be much more forthright. But the thing is like the first person that had shared DMs had clearly been coached by people. It's funny, I was the one accused of grooming, where this person had shared DMs in certain ways that were screenshotted in certain ways to make me look terrible. Like there were moments where like it looked like they were talking about some video game, and out of nowhere I just made a sort of sexual comment. And it looked like, what the fuck? That's a bit weird. But then if you look at the full context, just before that comment, we'd had a kind of like sexually charged conversation. So it was like clearly edited in such a way to the point where some of the messages were just literally my message. So yeah, they got coached, I think, by certain of my enemies. Oh god, there was this fucking sped from like Xanderhall's community who ended up in my community. I can't even remember their fucking name. They're that forgettable, unfortunately. But they, I know, were working with them to get this stuff out there, They were working with them to get this stuff out there. No, it wasn't gay fesh. I mean, to be fair, like, as much as obviously me and Demonmama have kind of not really talking anymore, at the time, Demonmama was quite supportive. She kind of looked at it and defended me in the end. Like Xanderhall made a video defending me as well, which was appreciated. But obviously the biggest element of all of it was I was sat there basically with my head in my hands, right? And I was like, well, I've got a suspicion, because Demonmama kicked me out of her Discord when it first came out, and she alluded to like a moderator that had wanted that to happen. I've got a suspicion that it was probably Gayfesh that like asked for that at the time, I've got a suspicion, but obviously I can't prove it. I don't know. It doesn't really matter at this point. But yeah, Demonmama was like obviously concerned, but I wanted to wait to see my response and so on. But anyway, on the night that it happened, because I was asleep, I was basically asleep for a couple of hours, and I woke up and I had all of these messages. I woke up to like, 20 Discord messages, a whole bunch of Twitter DMs, people going, what's going on, Chud? What's this I'm hearing? What's this tweet? What's this? What's this? What's this? And I was like, oh no, it's happening. I'm getting cancelled for the first time. And I was just desperately looking through the messages. I was like, oh my God, I was looking through the tweets. I was seeing what everyone was saying. And when you have that moment where all of these people are basically calling you a pedo groomer, it is like getting shot in the chest. It is like, fuck. It is brutal. It is savage. The dog pile starts to happen. And I went to my computer and actually got on a call with Noopy, who was in chat a second ago. So Noopy has been around since the very early days of my channel and has been a bit of like a confidant, someone that I turn to for like guidance and stuff. But we don't speak as much as we kind of used to. But I still trust them, and if there was something that happened, I know that I could rely on them for their insight or their perspective or something like that. If I really needed to, I feel like we could still open that up again. But we just Noopy's got their stuff going on, I've got my stuff going on, so we don't really talk much. But I was on a call with Noopy talking about it, head in my hands, like, I'm fucked, what am I going to do? And then I got a message at my darkest moment, my darkest hour. I was like, it's over. I'm going to have to end Chud Logic. This is it. I'm getting cancelled. There's no point continuing on. But in my darkest moment, I got the message. Chud, Destiny is covering your allegations right now on stream. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. I'd been on a panel once with Destiny before where we'd had a contentious but somewhat friendly interaction. It wasn't like particularly egregious. We'd had a sort of friendly interaction. It was fine. Like, I think that obviously because we disagreed, there'd been a bit of shit I'd probably got from DGG at the time. I was like a Vosh clone or whatever. Fine. But like at the time, I didn't know which way it was going to go. I was like, what's going to happen with this? I'm not sure. But then when I tuned into Destiny's stream to watch it live, he was basically just like completely on my side. and completely berating the concept that I'd like groomed people and stuff like that. He pointed out the times in the messages where like, oh, well, look at this. He's saying here, checking for consent, this kind of thing. Like, this is out of control. What's going on here? You know, I don't even, what was it? What is it he said? He said like, who even is Chud Logic? He's some fucking bread tube anarchist retard or something, isn't he? Or something along those lines. And yeah, because obviously Destiny didn't really know who I was. Didn't really have any reason to defend me. Didn't really have any reason to like do anything except just look at this and go, well, what a fuck, who cares about this guy? But he didn't. He spent time, he looked at it and gave his sort of takes and gave his conclusions. And then he ended up getting a bit wrapped in because some of the people that were coming super hard for me then started to attack Destiny. And he did another stream where he started like popping off on this person called Emily, I think their name is. Rokitansky, their name was back then. But they're like this...
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud Logic is a coked-out loser, racist, paedophile, gay, groomer.
Thank you very much for the $10, my avatar. Appreciate you. Because like this stupid fucking bitch Rokitansky was like coming at me super hard. And then Destiny covered it. And they were like... and then this Rokitansky person was having a go at Destiny, calling like an unwashed loser and stuff like that. And Destiny made a really good point, which is like, why is it that like trans people get to go after you for the way that you look and your appearance and whatever and call you a manlet, but the second you have a go at them for their appearance, they cry fucking bloody murder? It's like their appearance is totally unassailable, but then they can have a go at your appearance to endlessly, essentially. It's fucking insane when you think about it, right? But anyway, he got embroiled in that. I think that that's when like Zot's also weighed in a bit too. But yeah, Destiny, you know. And I don't think Destiny did it for any other reason. I mean, obviously it was a little bit of content for him. But I think he genuinely like, you know, was interested in like the truth of what was going on and stuff like that. Do you see what I mean? And I think for me, that was a big moment. Is this why you're covering for Destiny now? Okay, good one. I'm not going to engage with retards in chat right now. Okay, you're joking. Okay. I thought you were being serious. So anyway. Okay, it was good bait. It caught me. So here's the thing. When that happened, and when Destiny essentially gave me a sense of charity or a sense of like wanting to understand what was happening and stuff like that, you know, I think I saw something in Destiny then. And bear in mind, up until that point, I'd made some videos like shitting on Destiny, criticizing Destiny, right? But up until that point, I had definitely seen some of the extremities in the way people had spoken about Destiny, and I was like, I'd stayed away from some discourse, and there was some stuff that he'd done that a lot of people were criticizing that I'd stayed away from because I was like, I don't know if I agree with some of the lefty takes on this, but I didn't want to put like a target on my back to these leftoids, right? Man, how I wish I fucking had done at the time. But nonetheless, that's what happened. And then when Destiny ended up showing me this this kind of like, because I think I'd even like agreed in late 2020 about some of the takes about like defending your property and stuff like that. And I'd spoken about how if you're a small business owner, it's kind of insane because their circumstances are reliant on the products that they've got and stuff like that. It's kind of insane to think that we can just say, well, you know, fuck you if your stuff gets destroyed or whatever. My issue was like more to do with the phrasing or the wording of how it was said, because it made it seem like more broad. But in any case, you know, there were times I'd agreed and there were times that stuff like that. But when I saw that happen, it was like, I kind of like was like, shit, like Destiny actually did me a, you know, did right by me in that situation. And then from there, you know, I would always feel some sense of tension with some lefty content creators that I was friendly with, because, you know, I did feel like a sense of loyalty. Is that the right word? I don't know. But I did kind of think, hey, you know, this dude who had every reason to just ignore or shit on me or laugh at me or like, you know, berate me, even to the point where he was saying things like, yeah, listen, I know these look a bit cringe, but all sex are cringe. If you were to have your sex leak, you would also look at it and cringe too, because it's just cringy when you have like a sexual conversation with someone. So there was even elements he was defending where he didn't even need to do that. Like he could have just fucking completely just shit on me or laughed at me or whatever, but he didn't. And I thought that was, you know, pretty crazy. And, you know, he then got a bit embroiled in it and he was fighting with some of the other people that were attacking me. And obviously, you know, that was good. But anyway, I took 10 days off of streaming and then I came back. But there was, you know, this kind of ongoing pressure from people and stuff like that. And some people were like, were still calling me a groomer. And then onwards from there, obviously, I did feel this kind of like, loyalty is probably the wrong word. That sounds weird. But it was kind of like, you know, you've given me good charity and good faith there to like look at what's happened and not completely shit on me. So I think that it kind of made me think a bit more about like when I watched Destiny interact with people. Well, not even the Orbiter arc, because I wasn't even closely associated with Destiny at that point. But it was quite foundational for my development as a content creator, because for one thing, it taught me that leftoids were slimy fucks who will sometimes stab you in the back. And that's not every leftoid, but the amount of people who fucking were absolute cowards and were like messaging me and were like, oh, Chud, this is all too much. I can't associate with you anymore. Not even making a public statement about it, you know? Just fucking sneakily coming to me and like sneakily saying to me, I'm cutting you off, you know? There were basically like different groups of people in all of it. There were the people that were like, I've looked at this, Chud, and I don't think you've done anything wrong, before even my official response. And I support you in this, and you shouldn't get destroyed over this. This is complete bullshit, and fuck all these people. That was obviously really good. Then there were the people who were like, listen, mate, I'm a bit concerned about some of this stuff, but like, I'm going to give you a chance to respond, which I totally appreciated. Obviously, some of it did look bad, so I was cool with that as well, you know? And then there were people who didn't really comment or didn't really reach out to me at all, and I kind of get that too. You know, that's fair enough. And there's even people who after have apologized to me for like not coming forward and not speaking to me, and I was like, no, it's fine. I understand it was a difficult time, but we're cool. But the biggest, slimiest fucks, obviously, are the people that were publicly attacking me. Fuck all of them people. Where even are they now? Where are you? I can't fucking see you. All these people that came for me so fucking hard in 2021. Where are you now in late 2022? I can't fucking find you. I can't fucking see you. Where have you gone? What happened? What fucking happened? They fucking disappeared. Fucking losers. Absolute fucking losers, man. Absolute fucking losers. I would name names, but I can't fucking remember most of them. I can't even remember their fucking names. I can't remember their fucking names. That's how irrelevant these cunts are. All these people that did their best to make my life a living hell for a couple of weeks. All these people that wanted me destroyed. All these people that wanted to run me off the internet. Where the fuck are you now? So funny. Fallen by the wayside. Mentally ill. Neurodivergent. Fucking idiots. Fuck you. Trekkie69. I remember Trekkie69, but the reason I remember Trekkie69 is I showed that autistic little freak a fucking absolute boatload of charity, bringing him onto my streams, despite the fact he would just fucking spurg out and just say really plainly unfunny things very loudly and obnoxiously, and everyone would be like, what the fuck? But I still brought him on, because I was trying to be a nice guy to these little fucking weirdos. I was trying to be nice to them. I was trying to be fucking nice to them. Go on, mate, don't worry about it. Come on my stream. You're a fucking nobody. I'm a nobody too, but I've got 50 viewers. Come on my stream and come on my panel. You know? Numerous times. I went on his show, which fucking sucked, by the way. It was terrible, but I went on his show and tried to help him out too. For that weaselly little fucking wig-wearing bitch snake to message me behind the scenes. Chud, this is too much for me. I can't associate with you anymore. You're too controversial with all this grooming stuff. Little fucking bitch. Where is it? Where are they now? Where are they now? And their fucking wigs. Fucking wig sell little bitch. Where even are they now? Fucking anarchist historian. Anarchist historian. Anarchist historian. I got another name for that. Do you know what it is? Retard. Retard. That's what I call that. That's what I call that now. Fucking little cunts. Fuck off. Little snaky bitch. All these fucking losers that came for me so hard. Most of them, I can't even remember their name. All gone. Fallen by the wayside. Fucking what was her name? That Bella person, that trans person that was a fucking moderator for Asan and shit. Bella or some shit. What was her fucking name? You know what I'm talking about. What was her fucking name? You know, Bella and numbers. Izzy Bear. Oh, Izzy Bear. Yeah. Izzy Bear. Izzy Bear. Was her name Bella or some shit? Who fucking cares? Irrelevant. Irrelevant fucking loser. Izzy Bear came for me super fucking hard, okay? And so did the coven of fucking freaks that she was living with. Fucking, what were the name? Kalia? Some other fucking, I don't fucking know. Who cares? Who remembers anyway? All these fucking, this coven of freaks that came for me so hard. Turned out they had a little thing going on in their little trans neurodivergent household. Didn't it? That turned out well, didn't it? Get a bunch of neurodivergent losers together in a house that can't work and watch it crumble apart at the seams. I fucking loved covering that. Every second covering that was fucking absolutely wonderful for me. Amazing. Especially because that fucking Izzy Bear piece of shit had come for me super fucking hard and was calling me a groomer, me an abuser, and me all of these names. Turned out they were fucking guilty themselves. I'd fucking done nothing. Man. All those little fucking weirdos in my Discord that were like complaining and criticizing me. Oh, Chud, you're a terrible person. What have you done? But yeah. But yeah, guys. I'm still here. Okay? And this is the beautiful thing about it all. When you get called a groomer, what more can they call you? That is like one of the worst things that you can be called. When they've called you a groomer and they've called you a pedophile, getting called a racist is like getting complimented in comparison. Okay? So by calling me these things, you made me stronger. You only made me stronger. You only made me stronger. And look at me now. Look where I am now. Flourishing, succeeding. I've made this into an empire, a media empire. We're pumping out content. I'm making money. This is now my career. And where are you? Where are you? Where the fuck are you? Oh, man. But yeah, in all seriousness, in terms of like the Destiny stuff, that was really foundational to how I then proceeded from there, because I definitely had this kind of confliction going forward, because I was like, damn, these leftoids are kind of fucked me. And a lot, because the thing to bear in mind is like back in 2020, there were times when I got criticized for being a bit too spicy, but that was me at like 10%. I've always been, this is me being edgy and saying crazy shit. That's just who I am. But I always had to kind of taper that in a bit, because I was always concerned about some of the backlash that I might get and stuff like that. And I know it sounds like spineless, and I'll maybe even take some of that, you know? The thing to bear in mind, though, is when you're a small streamer and you've only got 50 viewers, right? And you've only got 50 viewers, you do worry about alienating your audience. And so you will take certain steps or say and do certain things in order to, like, not burn through your audience. Because at 50 viewers and you lose your audience, you're fucked. But when they tried to cancel me, I had nothing left to lose. When I came back, I was like, well, who knows if people are even still going to watch me? And fortunately, people did. But I felt very empowered to, you know, be more racist, to be more transphobic, to just be generally more bigoted, to be more misogynistic. I felt empowered to do all of these things. And what were they going to do? And so over time, I was able to like be my truest self in terms of the things I said and the jokes I made and stuff like that. And I sort of got into a more comfortable position. I felt that I was able to, like, rather than maybe avoiding talking about a certain drama, if the perspective I would have would not be amenable to a certain audience, I was able to just honestly give my take on whatever drama there was. It's not captured on YouTube because I didn't have an editor then. But I took a pretty, anti-leftoid take on the hot tub meta. I was critical of the hot tub stuff, and I said I think it's insane that some of these people are like essentially doing softcore porn in a hot tub. That was like middle of 2021. And then obviously the big thing was the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff. That was probably the biggest moment that I had the most contentious alternative opinion to like the leftoid kind of, thing. I guess there was the Prime Kai stuff, but I just kind of watched from the sidelines with that. I wasn't like a major character or player in all of that. I just watched and reacted to it. And having just been through a similar thing, 6 months before, or whatever it was. Wait, no, that was this year, wasn't it? When was Prime Kai? Prime Kai was 2022? No, Prime Kai was 2021, wasn't it? Fuck, man. But yeah, having just been through it, I had some sympathy for that, but I was kind of a sidelines character. My takes on Rittenhouse really pissed people off. But the thing is, my perspectives on Rittenhouse and my takes on Rittenhouse, they were all really strongly rooted in the responses to the drama that I'd seen. And I was like, that whole drama really taught me the importance of finding out and digging to the truth of what was going on, rather than just kind of repeating whatever the talking points are. And so, in analysing the Rittenhouse court case, it was impossible for me to come to any other conclusion other than this guy had acted in self-defense. As much as you can criticize certain elements of his actions, it does seem like self-defense, and there doesn't seem to be much evidence that he's some sort of like schizo white supremacist guy who just wanted to go and wipe out a bunch of Black Lives Matter protesters. And that led to a lot of contention and people even leaving my community. Well, the funny thing about that is obviously before my controversy, there'd been lots of debates and discussions about the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, and it led to me being on that panel with Destiny where we spoke about some of these topics. But I hadn't really commented on the Rittenhouse stuff because I didn't really feel qualified to, and I didn't really understand what was going on with it. So there isn't any content of me really covering it before the court case. But I kind of didn't really get involved because I didn't really understand what was going on. I obviously saw the mow down dipshit protesters thing. And this was before my controversy, I think. It must have been because it was the 2020 George Floyd riots. But yeah, I don't think I made a video about the departnering thing. I can't remember what I said in it though. I think I probably didn't have I don't think I had such a I can't imagine I had that strong a take on it because that I was like 100 viewer Andy back then, I think. And I don't think that what I'd said was like extremely aggressive against Destiny. I think I was kind of like, I can't remember what I said. But yeah, that was a big moment. And then obviously there was other arcs that I went through. The Mr. Girl arc initially last year. And that was something that pissed a lot of people off. The Dr. K stuff was very contentious. But that drama in 2021, the grooming stuff, really made me see the importance of getting to the truth of something. And how in this space, oftentimes, there's not a lot of things that really matter in the grand scheme of things. But what can matter is if an allegation comes out about someone, it's important to look at the evidence and come to reasonable conclusions off the back of that, rather than just grabbing the pitchfork straight away, And so that has guided a lot of my perspectives on the Me Too stuff, a lot of perspectives on the allegations that have come out since then, and my approach to handling them and dealing with them. And whilst you can do two things at once, you can both be critical of any actions you think are worthy of criticism without getting the pitchforks and attacking someone, you know, super hard off the back of like mistakes they've made or something like that, or even if someone's done something more serious, shitting on them on the internet isn't necessarily going to, like, you know, help resolve anything, you know. But yeah, I didn't actually cover the Amber Heard Depp stuff, which I regret. I should have covered that in more detail, but because, you know, allegations in this space that come out can destroy someone. And whilst in some cases, whilst it might feel justified, or it might happen because the allegations are so severe, like with Arcadum, he's now 100 view Andy. If someone comes out with allegations that aren't substantiated or don't really have any grounding, then yeah, I don't think people should be completely wrecked off the back of that. That sounds crazy to me. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, I just thought I'd go into a little bit of the background, the lore. I've been talking for an hour about this now, so I think that should be sufficient to give you a little bit of lore. I think it's nice to start off an anniversary stream and just go over some of that stuff.